Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em a shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no else, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game.
Hey folks, David Glenn here from the North Carolina Sports Network with my 3 quick things on number 1 seed Purdue's 63-50 victory over number 11 seed NC State in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. The now 34-4 Boilermakers, led by 7'4", 300-pound, 2-time National Player of the Year, the big center Zach Edey, will have a chance to secure their program's first ever national championship on Monday night in Arizona. Congratulations to Matt Painter, his staff, his players, and the Purdue fans who have actually been a lot of fun to interact with from our perch here in ACC country during this postseason. The 26-15 Wolfpack are now headed home, but only after one of the most thrilling and unexpected postseason runs, including those 9 consecutive victories in the 71-year history of the Atlantic Coast Conference and one of the most magical and unpredictable Final Four runs in the 86-year history of the NCAA tournament. The Pack's first ACC title since 1987 and the school's first Final Four trip since Jimmy V's national champion Cardiac Pack in 1983 will have prominent places in NC State history forever, and rightfully so. My quick thing number 1. Although NC State ultimately fell short to Purdue by double digits, the Wolfpack did accomplish a couple of the most important things they set out to do in this game against the Big Ten's regular season champion, which is why this was just a 6-point game at halftime, with Purdue up just 35-29 at that point. The Pack did bother Zach Edey, who finished with 20 points and 12 rebounds, but also turned the ball over 5 times and finished well below his scoring average. The 5 turnovers were the second most Edey had against anyone all season, and that is a tribute to both the Wolfpack guards digging into the lane with double teams to keep Edey off balance in this game, and also the solid defense of DJ Burns and a yeoman's effort by backup big man Ben Middlebrooks, who was giving up 6 inches and 60 pounds to Edey, but still managed to do some good things against a guy who, let's face it, was the 2023 and 2024 National Player of the Year for a lot of good reasons. The Pack also took Purdue's second-best player, first-team All-Big Ten point guard Braden Smith, completely out of this game. It was Smith's absolute worst game of the season, and that was the sign of a very thoughtful, well-executed game plan. So credit to Kevin Keatts and his staff for what they accomplished in the practices leading up to this game, and to the Wolfpack players for executing that plan well, especially against Braden Smith. We told you before this game that while Edey is the most productive Purdue player, obviously, Smith is sort of the head of the Purdue monster, and things just don't work nearly as well for the Boilermakers when Smith is not right or if he's off his game. Smith's 5 turnovers were the second most he's had all season, and the number actually could have been higher. There are a couple turnovers that could have been given to either of 2 players. All 5 of the turnovers that Smith did get credited with came in the first half, and eventually Purdue stopped asking Smith to bring the ball up the court the way a point guard typically does. Credit to Wolfpack's senior point guard Michael O'Connell, who caused not 1 but 2 very uncommon over and back calls at the midcourt stripe with his pressure on Smith, who, remember, is only a sophomore and seemed nervous at points in that game, and to Jaden Taylor, whose length and athleticism off the bench also bothered Braden Smith in ways that just didn't happen often during the Boilermakers' Big Ten schedule. Smith ultimately did help his team in other ways, so credit to the young man, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. But he shot only 1 for 9 from the field and just did not run the Purdue offense very well at all. He's advancing and surviving, as that old saying goes, in large part because his teammates picked him up. The Wolfpack did all the right things in limiting Braden Smith, but the Boilermakers overcame that anyway. By keeping the game close at the half, the Wolfpack attained one more very important goal, making Purdue feel some game pressure. To the Boilermakers' credit again, however, even as Smith mostly wilted in this game and Edey was not quite as dominant as he often has been, they ultimately did not flinch, and that is a credit to the Boilermakers' guts, their confidence, and their perseverance, and their experience. In the end, though, while the Wolfpack accomplished those 3 goals I mentioned, they missed badly on several others. They knew they had to limit the three-point shooting of Purdue, which was one of only 2 teams in the entire country, you remember, to shoot better than 40% from three-point range as a team. But the Pack gave up 10 threes on 25 attempts, which is a conversion rate of exactly 40%. Mo Diarra twice completely lost Purdue's 6-man Mason Gillis on defense, enabling Gillis, who shoots 48% from three-point land, to convert 2 wide-open attempts from long range. The senior guard, Lance Jones, did most of the damage for Purdue from beyond the arc, hitting 4 of his 9 three-point attempts and finishing with 14 points as the Boilers' second leading scorer behind Edey in this game. Finally, while the Wolfpack did a great job of creating turnovers, 16 in all, they ended up with only 2 fast break points. Remember, Ohio State shocked Purdue during the regular season, as we outlined last time, not only by creating turnovers, as the Wolfpack did, but by turning those turnovers into easy buckets. To the Boilermakers' credit, many of their turnovers this time were either dead ball turnovers, like those over and back calls that lead to whistles, of course, and stoppage of play, or they managed to get back and prevent the Wolfpack from getting those easy buckets that the Buckeyes used in their triumph in Columbus during the regular season. The Lawson Insurance Group in Raleigh is a family-owned business led by 3 actual brothers who happen to be huge sports fans: Ken Lawson, Miller Lawson, and Michael Lawson. I know these guys, I trust these guys, and I send these guys my own insurance business and that of my family. The next time you have insurance needs, I hope you'll do the same. The Lawson Insurance Group is known for its commitment to community and its dedication to ensuring that North Carolinians and their businesses are prepared for life's inevitable challenges, with the reminder that as a high street insurance partner, Lawson Insurance Group offers local expertise and support that, combined with High Street's extensive national resources, means more choice and support for you as their client. To learn more, search Lawson Insurance Group online. The Lawson Insurance website will be the first link that pops up. Quick thing number 2 from this Final Four matchup. When the Wolfpack struggled during its very mediocre regular season, remember the Pack was only 9-11 in conference play, they often got bogged down offensively or they got absolutely walloped on the defensive boards. Both of those things reared their ugly heads for the Pack against Purdue. The Boilermakers had 11 offensive rebounds and a 41-28 rebounding edge overall, in part, of course, because of the National Player of the Year, Zach Edey. In ACC play, the Pack did not get to the free throw line very often. They weren't a particularly good three-point shooting team during the regular season, and they often lacked scoring depth behind DJ Horne and DJ Burns, the senior guard and the senior big man. Again, that's exactly what happened against the Boilermakers. The Wolfpack got to the free throw line only 4 times against Purdue, and it definitely wasn't a referee thing, so there's no need to go there. The Pack also hit only 5 of its 19 three-point attempts for just 26%. Meanwhile, after repeatedly finding different guys to step up as complementary scorers beyond Horne and beyond Burns during that 9-game winning streak, the Pack just didn't get that against Purdue. Horne had his 20 points. Burns actually had only 8 points and 4 assists. But remember, the Pack had been able to overcome lower scoring, higher assist games from DJ Burns, in part because of the complementary scoring they got in those games. The only other guy who scored in double digits against Purdue for the Pack was Jaden Taylor, and he got to the 11-point mark only because of a garbage time three-pointer. When the Pack eliminated Marquette in the Sweet 16, remember, it was Casey Morsell with 15 points. It was Mo Diarra with 11. When the Pack eliminated Oakland in the round of 32, it was a lot of double-figure scores. It was O'Connell with 12. It was Diarra with 11. It was Morsell with 11. Again, in addition to Burns and Horn. When the Pack beat UNC in the ACC title game, Diarra had 11 points and McConnell had 10. Again, in support of Burns and Horn. Against Purdue, Casey Morsell airballed a wide-open three-pointer early in this game. It actually came off a great pass from DJ Horn. And after he airballed that shot in front of that large crowd on this huge stage in this elimination game, Casey Morsell essentially disappeared as an offensive threat for the remainder of this game. He did play his great defense as usual, so credit to him for that. And he ended up missing all 5 of his shots, though, and finished with 0 points, Casey Morsell. Mo Diarra also missed a wide-open three-point attempt early in this game, and he mostly disappeared at the offensive end after that. He finished with only 2 points and even missed a wide-open dunk, stuffing the ball against the rim as it appeared he was attracted by Edey's presence lurking nearby on that play. Michael O'Connell, he gets an asterisk because he ended up playing only 12 minutes because of that freak hamstring injury, but O'Connell ended up with only 3 points. Again, those are 3 guys who often were the perfect complementary scorers to Burns and Horn, not so much against the Boilermakers. In the end, the Wolfpack team of 2024 simply was not dynamic enough offensively, diverse enough offensively to get past an opponent the caliber of Purdue, a #1 seed and the Big Ten regular season champion. That team's won 34 games for a lot of really good reasons, especially without Horn and Burns, in this case, getting a lot more help from their friends, as that old song goes. Michael Berard, Managing Director Investments with the Founders Group at Stifel, works with a select group of high net worth individuals and institutions to develop and implement investment plans tailored to their specific objectives and risk tolerances. If you are interested in highly personalized, well-researched guidance and outstanding personal service, you can contact Michael at 984-364-2002. That's 984-364-2002. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. Quick thing number 3. At times like this, it is important to remember that of the 68 teams of the NCAA tournament every year, 67 go home with a loss in their final game of the event. Some people say only the national champion is a true winner and that everyone else is somehow a loser to one degree or another. I've always wondered, going back the 37 years I've covered March Madness, if the people who think that way have ever accomplished anything of significance in their own lives. Because if so, they'd be more likely to appreciate and recognize truly great things when they see them, even when a team, like NC State here, falls short of its ultimate goal. NC State won the ACC championship, the Wolfpack's first since 1987, breaking a 37-year drought. Immediately after, the Wolfpack had lost 7 of their last 9 regular season games. If there wasn't something truly exceptional about that, it would have happened more often at some point over the last 100 years. NC State won the ACC tournament, a 71-year-old creation, as a number 10 seed, by far the lowest seed ever to cut down the nets at that event. If there wasn't something truly exceptional about that, it would have happened more often over the last 71 years. NC State won the ACC tournament and made the Final Four of the 2024 NCAA tournament in the immediate aftermath of an often angry, divisive conversation about their 7th-year head coach, Kevin Keatts, that, to put it nicely, divided the Wolfpack fan base. It's not easy for coaches and players to stay positive and block out the noise amidst that sort of extreme negativity. But this Wolfpack did exactly that. If it was easy to do those sorts of amazing things under those sorts of challenging circumstances, such things would happen more often. Finally, the Wolfpack as a number 11 seed, about the lowest you typically get, remember, in the NCAA tournament as a power conference entry. This Wolfpack tied 5 other 11 seeds of the past as the lowest seeded teams ever to make the Final Four. Numerically speaking, these are some of the greatest Cinderella stories in the history of the Big Dance, and they are still celebrated in some cases decades after they happened. Dale Brown and LSU, that's 1986, and many fans remember it. Jim Larinaga and George Mason, that's 2006, almost 2 decades ago, and many, many March Madness fans still remember it. Shaka Smart and VCU, that's 2011. A little easy to remember because it's not as far into the past. Porter Moser, remember Sister Jean and Little Loyola Chicago? That was 2018. Mick Cronin and UCLA did it in 2021. Now we can add the names of Kevin Keatts, DJ Burns, DJ Horn, and the rest of the 2024 Wolfpack to that magical March Madness list. Perhaps all of these things are worthy reminders that even in defeat, there are sometimes truly great things worth celebration. Congratulations, NC State. Well done, Wolfpack Nation. Thanks in large part to you, we will never forget the 2024 NCAA tournament, no matter how it ends on Monday night.
Look, yeah, try and go further, try and go farther than ever without a burner. Feeling like I never quit moving, I am a learner. And learn that the higher you get, they wanna earn you. But I gotta keep moving, I know what the mission is. Eye on the prize, man, I know what the vision is. Train for the fight, man, I'm doing conditioning. If I fall down, man, I'm going to get it in, you know it. Man, I hang out with thugs, stoics, some poets. Told me take a high, don't hang around with the lowest. Shoot for the sky, you aim high and you blow it. Never take no for an answer, keep going, just breathe. Just breathe. Let's take this thing higher. Woo. Let's take this thing